Hello world. Hello world. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is BizMatik and I'm back with another one for y'all, right? I like to get into the mind of criminals, right? I want to know why they do the things that they do and like what makes you want to go that far. Because as a person, you feel me, like sometimes I do get in moods where I feel like I would do anything, but I quickly snap out of it because I don't know, in my head the consequences usually rush also. Like, is that even like worth it? So this video is why Diane Downs says she shot her 3 children. And another thing, when it comes to crime against children, that I never understood, because a lot of the time they're defenseless. When I say defenseless, I mean they are weaker than you, like a lot weaker than you. So, and when it comes to your own kids, man, that's crazy. So I want to hear why she did it. This was a case from a while back. So let's watch. This is kind of disturbing, really. Oh, don't forget to like the video and subscribe.
Thought of it. I used to carry dolls around on a pillow, and I wanted to be a mom.
What Diane Downs wanted more than anything else was to have children. She got her wish, but her dream turned into a twisted tragedy when she was sentenced to life for shooting her children because her boyfriend didn't like kids. Even today, 5 years later, her former husband would like to see her pay the ultimate price.
Executed.
Wait, what?
That's what I was hoping for. That's what I still feel that they should have done that, you know. We'd all be better off.
But it was the children who would pay for what Diane wanted.
What?
Diane's the type of
Yo, man, watch who y'all have children with.
I think could cut your throat and then sit down and have lunch next to your body.
I wouldn't walk in there and say, this weird person came up out of nowhere and shot us for no reason and just left. I mean, that's not a believable story. I could have, if I had done this, I could have come up with a believable story. It really happened.
It was back in May of 1983. Next to this creek, alongside this isolated country road outside of Springfield, Oregon, that this bizarre and tragic crime was committed. It was around 9:45 in the evening when Diane Downs said a man flagged down her car and demanded her keys. When she refused, he pulled out a pistol and shot her and her 3 small children.
I could smell the blood. I could smell the gunpowder. It was just a really, really horrible feeling.
But Diane says she somehow managed to escape and rushed to a nearby hospital. 7-year-old Cheryl was dead on arrival. 8-year-old Christy was shot twice in the chest. 3-year-old Danny was shot in the back and lay paralyzed. Diane, however, received only wounds to her forearm.
It was all wrong. From the beginning, it was wrong.
Detective Doug Welch was one of the first officers at the hospital that night, and although he didn't realize it at the time, this case would consume his life for many months to come.
Here was a woman who was completely apathetic about the welfare of her kids. She was just emotionally flat and preoccupied with something else.
That evening and the next day, police were out in full force, looking for any clues that would lead them to the man that Diane claimed did the shooting, later to be known as the bushy-haired stranger.
I'm throwing the keys, okay? I'm throwing the keys.
4 days later, as one child was being buried, the other 2 still in intensive care, Diane reenacted for police what happened that night. Besides wondering why a woman with children would stop her car and get out for a strange man, detectives couldn't help but notice Diane's seemingly carefree attitude.
I just hit my cast. Started the car and left. The car door shut itself. God damn. Sure, I could sit here and cry and be all upset. And what's it going to prove? It proves nothing. I am who I am, and I can't prove that I'm anybody other than what I am.
Diane was brought up in a strict religious family in Phoenix. She graduated from high school with straight A's. She married Steve Downs at 17, and almost immediately they had children.
I got pregnant when I wasn't allowed to, and I'm not saying he forbade me to get pregnant, but I didn't consult him. I wanted to have children, and so I got pregnant without asking permission.
Well, once she had the kids, you know, it was another story, you know. Well, she treated them like crap, you know. She really didn't treat them very good.
Christy and Cheryl came early in the marriage. Little Danny came later, the result of an affair. Diane then became a surrogate mother, bearing a child for another woman. After 8 years, the marriage ended in divorce.
This was a woman that
she
really
was
got
for the
around.
streets.
You know, of course, I really didn't know that.
For the
Hey,
streets.
You're not supposed to. You're the husband. You're supposed to be the last to know.
In 2 years' time, I had 10 separate lovers. 2 years. That's not very many. And less than half of them were married.
Diane worked as a letter carrier here at the Chandler Post Office just outside of Phoenix.
What?
This is where she would meet a fellow employee, a married man who she would have an intimate relationship with. According to Oregon police, that man would be the reason why she would later try to kill her children. Robert Knickerbocker told Diane he would divorce his wife of 10 years and marry her. But there was one problem. You see, he didn't have kids, and he didn't want kids.
Well, hey, I don't have a problem with you having a relationship with anybody, you know, especially if it's going to work into something serious. And how does he feel about the kids? Oh, well, he doesn't want anything to do with the kids. He hates kids. He can't have kids, and he had a vasectomy so that he can't have kids, on and on and on.
Diane and the children moved to Springfield, Oregon. She set up a new life in this apartment house and waited for her boyfriend to get a divorce and join her, but he never showed up. According to police, she became obsessed with trying to get him, writing him letters every day, but they would come back unopened.
He would change his mind on a daily basis. I'm coming, I'm going, I'm coming, I'm going. I want a divorce, I've changed my mind, I don't want a divorce. A week and a half later, he changes his mind, he doesn't want a divorce, okay?
This was a real obstacle as far as
You're
Diane was
crazy.
concerned. Those kids were a burden.
Psycho.
And there was no way that she could see that she was going to get this guy up to Oregon as long as she had the kids.
Along with the letters, this statuette was found in Diane's apartment. Inscribed at the base, to Christy, Cheryl, and Daniel, I love you, Mom, dated just 6 days before the shooting. Police believe this was not a gift, but a memorial, because soon Diane would be without her children. The town of Springfield was shocked by the crime. Diane proclaimed herself the victim of an unknown madman. But as police investigated, they found no evidence to support her story about a bushy-haired stranger. Instead, everything pointed to Diane. Most damaging were the slugs found at the scene. Police say they were fired from a .22 Ruger pistol. Although the weapon was never found, Diane was known to have a similar gun.
We were able to learn that she did have a Ruger.
She had that gun, and she pulled that gun out and shot those kids with it.
Police were unable to crack Diane's story about a crazed killer who only demanded her car keys and said nothing more before shooting her children. But during a tape-recorded police interrogation, she slipped, changed the story, and said that the man had called her by name and threatened to kill her if she talked.
This individual talked to you, referred to you by name, and also referred to your tattoo.
Right.
As close as you can remember, what did he tell you?
If you say anything about what happened here, that they'd come back and kill me.
It wasn't an intentional lie, though. I didn't sit,
But you
just
changed
sit
your
there.
story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, you know, you've heard it. It's obvious.
Doesn't that make it seem kind of tough to believe what you're saying? If you change your story 2 months after the shooting?
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to believe me. I'm not saying that anybody has to believe me. But I know within myself, I can sit here with a clear conscience and know that I did not shoot my kids.
There was only circumstantial evidence to go on. Police felt they needed more.
Yo,
They
she's
hadn't
tapped.
talked
Yo,
to the two
something not
surviving
working
children.
up there.
Danny was too young, and Christy had suffered a stroke as a result of her gunshot wounds and had difficulty speaking.
Why wouldn't they arrest me if I did it? If they really had this evidence, I say they didn't have the evidence.
Finally, police arrested Diane, and incredibly, she was pregnant once again. Throughout the trial, the public would see Diane being led to the courthouse in a maternity gown and handcuffs. The trial was held here at the Lane County Courthouse in Eugene. And although the prosecution felt they had a strong case, they were still concerned about their only eyewitness. Would little Christy Downs, now 9 years old, be able to take the stand and testify against her mother? In an emotional and oftentimes tense account, Christy Downs told the jury what happened that night. When asked, "Who shot you?" she replied, Mom did.
Her daughter Christy testified that Mom stopped the car, got out, and then walked to the trunk where she obtained something. We feel it was a murder weapon. And then walked back where she reached inside and shot the kids. After that, we think that Diane then shot herself.
A jury found Diane Downs guilty of murder and attempted murder and sentenced her to life in prison, where she would later have her baby and give it up for adoption. But after serving only 3 years in prison, she escaped by scaling over a barbed wire fence. Diane was now on the run and a threat once again, but she says she was looking for the bushy-haired stranger.
I wanted revenge at that time. I wanted to do some really obscene things to his body.
But instead, 11 days later, she was apprehended, hiding in a nearby house with a former cellmate's husband. Diane Downs is now held in a maximum security prison in New Jersey, where she's working on her latest appeal.
Why are you here?
I don't know. I don't know.
Doesn't that kill you?
No.
The reporter's face, bruh.
I'm a survivor.
Yeah,
She's destroyed.
Oh my God, she's a survivor.
So
oh
many
my
people.
God, shut the fuck
and
up.
I think without one shred of regret. I don't think there's any regret in her body. That I don't think she's ever come to grips, with what's happened. I mean, the gravity of what's happened. The kids especially. She destroyed them. 3 perfectly innocent young children. Destroyed them.
That's crazy, man. Watch who y'all have children with. I'm talking about men and women. Men and women. Watch who y'all have children with, man. Cause especially if you don't plan on being with that person. Because then there's going to be other people coming around your kids. All type of, man, nah. Watch who y'all have kids with. And this woman is clearly delusional. She's a psychopath. And she's a thot. She was really for the streets. She was married. She was having up to 10 different lovers. Bro, anybody that's willing to shoot their kids for a man, which I'm pretty sure a lot of women is willing to do that, because some women treat their kids like shit for like their new man. Just some women treat their children like shit just because that child look like their father, who they don't fuck with. So y'all gotta be careful. Be careful who y'all have kids with, man. Be careful, be careful, be careful. I can't stress that enough, man, because the kids always end up suffering. But y'all let me know how you feel about the story in the comment section below. What else do y'all want me to react to? Let me know. Yeah, man, it's been real. You already know there's other craziness going on out in the world. Why am I messing up? It's early. I see y'all in the next one. Peace.